Welcome back to Inside Hollywood. Today, we will talk about the celebs who disrespected Ellen DeGeneres on her show. 1. Justin Timberlake. One of the world's most well-known artists and superstars is Justin Timberlake. The only time Ellen makes a mistake in front of the camera is when he harshly calls her out when he makes an appearance on Ellen after a wild one. They were playing one of Justin's songs while imbibing in tequila. During this, Ellen mispronounced one of the song's words. Justin was not amused since he couldn't believe she didn't know the words. Even after Ellen acknowledged that she had made an honest mistake, Justin refused to cooperate. The song in question was then played and her DJ turned on her, making it abundantly evident how much of a dummy she was. Justin ought to have been more understanding with Ellen about not knowing the song, but if this was planned, Ellen ought to have been familiar with the words before. 2. Caitlyn Jenner. After Caitlyn Jenner was born, many people wanted to speak with her and hear her opinions. This led to heated situations and interviews, including a very moving exchange with Ellen. Before Caitlyn began discussing her views on gay marriage, their first interview seemed to be going very well. Ellen was entirely behind Caitlyn and her struggle for transgender rights. To recap, Ellen is happily married, not merely gay. Because of her traditionalist background, which is the justification for many of these people's opposition to homosexual marriage, Jenner claims that she initially held a strong position against it. When Caitlyn Jenner attempted to make amends and claim that she was okay with it, Ellen wasn't biting at all. Instead, she called her out on it, which is when things become awkward. When asked about Jenner's stance on gay marriage following the interview, Ellen said she was still perplexed. Caitlyn was allowed to dance with Ellen, but she declined, leading Ellen to speculate that perhaps Caitlyn didn't want to dance with her because I am a lesbian. 3. Audience member. You don't always have to be the subject of the show to insult someone. There are many different methods. Like many hosts, Ellen enjoys treating the audience nicely during her performances. For instance, she gave away something to the crowd in one example. She distributed shirts, cups, hats, and other goodies. It wasn't much. Only one item was available to each audience member. The audience didn't realize that Ellen had wired the room with cameras, maybe for laughs, but also to ensure that guests complied with the rules or to see if any heartwarming moments occurred when she dispatched audience members in groups to gather their opinions. Due to the rule, one woman couldn't get the cap and t-shirt she desired, so her friend volunteered to buy them later. Ellen was more than glad to offer the woman the hat for free. However, one spectator entered the space, unaware she was being recorded. She took more than one thing and persuaded her companion to take even more. In addition, she lied to other spectators and made passes to receive additional swag. For everyone watching to know what the woman had done, Ellen publicly exposed her, showing that she was alone and responsible for her actions. She made fun of Ellen's generosity, and she now has to bear the consequences of her actions. Ellen wasn't buying it and disproved her when she tried to defend herself. Ellen is a lovely woman in front of the camera, but she isn't hesitant to use cunning and evidence to support her claims. She threw her in jail for her show to clarify what she had done and how awful it was. This teaches us not to be ungrateful when Ellen does something kind for us. 4. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has created a profession out of disparaging others, which has helped her gain popularity. She became a target for people who didn't like the shadow. She also had disagreements with Ellen over allegedly personality conflicts, though it's more probable that Wendy erred in her perception of the situation. When Wendy appeared on Ellen's show, things didn't go so well, and the two top talk show hosts occasionally attended each other's shows. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were expecting their first child when Ellen questioned why she disparaged them. Williams handled it nicely back in 2013 when it happened. Williams praised Ellen's veganism and support for PTA while praising her, but she then questioned how you could survive without bacon. Since pigs are intelligent creatures, Ellen wasn't amused by the query, which worked out perfectly. A few years later, Williams remarked that Justin Bieber and Ellen both had similar looks. 5. Sean Hayes. Ellen DeGeneres' quick reflexes are one of the factors that make her one of the most adored TV personalities. She can take jokes and give them back in kind with little effort. Additionally, Sean Hayes of Will and Grace fame is a well-known actor who is openly homosexual and supports having members of the Elite Plus community on Ellen DeGeneres' show. Before the relaunch returned to NBC, this specific episode came clean for the record. They decided to go for it, ask each other questions, and provide frank answers. Then it became a little more severe after beginning extremely amusingly. For instance, Hayes made light of Ellen's inability to answer interview questions seamlessly, as she sometimes does. Hayes responded, "I suppose that was longer than your show was on," to Ellen's retort about how Will and Grace got canceled. Hayes acknowledged that it's amusing because it's real in response to Ellen's statement, "Yeah, that's right. I had to come out first for y'all to do that show." The two began to laugh in earnest. Although some jabs were thrown, the episode ended up being fantastic. 6. Jennifer Lawrence. When you appear on a show like Ellen, especially if you believe disparaging gay people is a good idea, you must respect a line. This is especially true since the host, Ellen DeGeneres, acknowledged being a lesbian with a marriage. Jennifer Lawrence made jokes that upset and enraged Ellen after she had crossed the line she shouldn't have. All of this began during an interview when Lawrence joked about her cat. At first it seemed alright, but then I realized that the joke was that Lawrence had named her cat Chaz Bono due to the animal's masculine spirit. Sonny and Cher's iconic son Chaz Bono is transgender, which Ellen wholeheartedly supports and doesn't like to hear criticized. However, Jennifer didn't stop once the joke was told. Instead, she launched into a tirade about cats, cat genders, and other bizarre stuff. Ellen maintained her poise throughout. Ellen finally did the only thing once Lawrence had finished listening to her rant about gender. She could have moved on from the terrible joke and spoken about something else, making it clear that she wasn't pleased with what had transpired but didn't want to blow out on Lawrence, which Lawrence recognized because she was startled by how rapidly the discussion had shifted. You have to wonder if Lawrence realized what she accomplished when she made this error. 7. Giada De Laurentiis. Giada De Laurentiis is one of the many chefs who occasionally appear on Ellen's show to make humorous meals and engage in other cooking-related fun with the audience since she loves food. Usually, this would have been a fantastic cooking guest. Still, Giada couldn't contain herself during her presentation, which led to numerous insults directed at Ellen, making her appearance all the more tense and strange. While they were cooking together, Giada De Laurentiis criticized Ellen in various ways without indicating stopping. They were preparing a typical rice ball meal. Giada remarked that the rice balls looked like dog chow because Ellen had difficulty creating them. The woman who can't cook made the perfect ball, Nicole Kidman remarked when the other visitor joined in on baking some rice balls. Later, Ellen and Kidman collaborated to discredit Giada, notably by disparaging the famed chef's bread. The lesson here is to focus on the food and be polite if you're invited to cook on the Ellen show. Giada did return to the show later, but it was still very awkward. Guys, that's all for today. If you want to see similar videos, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon so that you can catch all upcoming videos.